All right, I'm not sure how the wind will work with our microphone, but we're talking classical conditioning, and we got Brutus, who's right here. He weighs probably about 2,500 pounds, and this is Zeus. He weighs about a ton, and I am holding our classical conditioning item. So what we would like to do is have them have some normal feeling. So think of Pavlov and the dog. The normal thing was the unconditioned response was to drool when Pavlov put food in front of them. That was their unconditioned stimulus. And then he put a bell in, which was a neutral stimulus. And so this hitching post should be completely neutral. They should pay no attention to a hitching post. It should make no difference in their life. But for the last 9 years for Brutus and 12 years for Zeus, they've been coming to the hitching post and they get brushed down. And the brushing is an unconditioned stimulus because it feels good. And when it feels good, they calm down. And the funny thing about cattle is they can only chew their cud when they're calm. And so Zeus is just totally chill. He's relaxed. He hasn't been out here in about 2 weeks to the hitching post. But as soon as he gets here, it's his happy place. It's his safe space, and he feels good. With Brutus, the only thing that he doesn't like is that Zeus is sometimes mean to him at the hitching post, so he associates that. But the brush makes it so they really enjoy the experience here, and they start to associate the hitching post with the good feelings. So it's one of those things we do is every time they come out, they get brushed down at the hitching post. And so if for some reason they were to run away, where they would run is right back to the hitching post. And so we're using the classical conditioning in our favor because we're associating something that they like with something completely neutral like this place, and then it trains them that this is an okay place to be. Now there's a couple of downsides to classical conditioning. One of them is they really like their routine, and so they start to associate that routine. And Cassius, who is off that way, he's got a sore foot, so he's not able to work today. So I'm going to put Brutus on this side, which is the normal side for him. He's used to working on this side, so he's used to standing here at the hitching post, and he associates this place with calm feelings. Zeus, on the other hand, is also used to working on this side. And so it's going to be a little bit of a rodeo with them today when they go to work because they're both used to being on the left-hand side. And so they've come to associate something, that position, with this is my spot, this is where I'm supposed to be. And sometimes classical conditioning works with the humans as well as with the animals. My routine of yoking is to normally start on the far side and then come over to this animal. So Zeus has already got his bow in. And then with Cassius, or with Brutus here, I will put his bow in. And so when we have that routine, and I am more calm, then the routine sort of self-reinforces. The routine ought to be neutral stimulus, but it turns out to be a conditioned stimulus. By just having a routine, it helps me to stay calm at the hitching post, which then helps to, in turn, classically condition them to be calm at the hitching post. I think that wind is probably terrible in the microphone, but it shows you that benefit of the routine. I've taken the halters off them, and they're basically untied. They could wander off anywhere they want to, but they're both just standing here chewing their cud because this is the place that they know. This hitching post has become a conditioned stimulus. It calms them down, and they like it, and so this is their favorite place to be right now. Cassius is standing here next to this hot wire, which is not on today, which is good because I just grabbed it. But if you think about how an electric fence works, if they run into it at full speed, they're going to run right through it. There's not enough actual strength there to keep these guys back. So what they've come to associate is this wire, which is not strong enough to stop them, is associated with an unconditioned stimulus, the shock, which leads to a conditioned or an unconditioned response. So the shock is an unconditioned stimulus, and the response is to avoid it. And then they're avoiding the shock, but they've associated the wire with the shock. And so it has turned into, it's what we call a pain barrier, but it's more of a psychological barrier than it is an actual physical barrier that keeps them in. Classically condition them is if they do something good, I say good boys and I scratch them. And they really like the scratching. The scratching is a natural thing. So the scratching would be an unconditioned stimulus. And then their unconditioned response would be it feels good, so they enjoy it. And then I pair it up with the neutral stimulus, which is to say good boys. And if you do that enough times over enough years, just simply saying good boys has a positive association in their mind and they enjoy it. And you can see now he's getting ready to start chewing his cud because he's calm. He enjoys it even though he's never had to stare down a Chromebook before.